Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. It's a very slow time of the season. Bachelorette doesn't premiere till July 11th. Not much news going on, at least within the Bachelor world, but some very interesting sound bites from Katie Thurston and John Hersey's conversation on Caitlin Bristow's podcast, Off the Vine. That's a wordy intro, folks. It's Dave Neal. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Don't forget to subscribe and also join the Patreon for private membership-only content, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll be sharing my wedding planning and some other information going on there, and we'll get right into it. So John mentions that he watched Katie suffer as she was being mischaracterized during her breakup with Blake Moynes. Of course, he was friends with Katie, and then their relationship shifted to more than that. If this happened in a rom-com with the right music underneath and the right notebook-style playwright, we'd be loving it. But of course, people watched it from a lens of Katie and Blake. Katie was emotionally cheating, which was an accusation made against her. They clear that up. Katie clears that up. John defends his lady, and they talk about it. So I'm going to have to make a couple of videos about this, to be quite honest, because there's a lot to get into. So we're going to start it off. I'm going to just click through 4 different clips about them not being engaged, how he was the winner, how their friendship became more than that, and also how they went through the adversity of dealing with that breakup. We're going to get into all of that, but as you guys like to know, we like to do some good on our channel. And I mentioned this yesterday on our live stream, but it was a very poorly attended live stream because it's the off season. But a friend of our community, Amy, her dog was in an accident, actually had his tail at the rear end of his body run over by a train, and he's actually doing okay, but he's requiring multiple blood transfusions and had a big surgery to remove his tail. And let's take a look at the update here. We're at $2,860 of a $4,000 goal. If anyone has any extra money, I know times can be tough for some people out there, but if you have any extra money, any extra bonuses came your way, and you're a fur baby lover there, you could definitely go help Amy and our community out with that GoFundMe. Okay, I'll put a link in the description below, and you can go check that out. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to play 4 clips from this podcast episode right now.
I ask you about marriage on your Instagram story.
Yes.
Are you guys engaged? What's happening? So if not, has there been talk about being engaged?
Well, you heard it here first, guys. We are not engaged.
Oh, I thought you were going to drop a bomb on me and be like, we are. And I was like, what?
No.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
You proposed to me
With the Taco Bell hot sauce?
with a Taco Bell hot sauce
Okay.
packet.
I don't know if that
Cute.
Very early on.
Cute.
Wait, you don't know if that counts.
Yeah.
I counted to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He
And
thought you were
here I
engaged.
am,
He was like,
waiting for
sweet.
my
I
ring.
didn't have to get a ring. I got a gift.
Look, the last thing I need right now is any kind of engagement. I'm very, very content with where I'm at in my relationship.
Don't propose, John.
With John.
Hi. Oh, and they just high
I
five.
like
That
you
was
had to
really
specify with John.
cute. With John.
with myself, with my cat.
Do you guys feel pressure to, like, because everyone who comes off of a show like The Bachelor, when the end goal is to get engaged. Now, Katie, you did that. Would you say that people now pressure you to do it because you were just on the show, or do you not feel that pressure?
I don't think there's pressure, but I
Yeah.
definitely think people ask it a lot because they are so used to a very quick engagement. So
Yeah, it's like oh, hey, you're for the Bachelor. Hey, when are you going to get married? Ugh. You get that as a plebeian commoner like myself. Well, when you get married? And it's like, shut up. You're the postman. Just deliver me the mail. Don't ask, But hey, that's what you get. That's what you get, Katie. You want to be the Bachelor. You're going to have people nonstop. When are you going to get married? Hey, as we always say, you're going to get married when you're going to have kids. You're going to have kids. When are they going to get into private school? They're going to have, and then it's going to go on and on down the human centipede of life.
What was the Instagram rumor about you guys being together during the show?
Oh, wow. I actually have no idea where that started. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is
With you
the
as the winner?
As the winner, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it got started. And sometimes I feel like fake endings are given out to kind of throw off like those
Yeah.
spoiler accounts,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
And so for whatever reason, I have no idea where it started. John was rumored to be a top 4, maybe even the final one. And so I loved that. I was like, I don't want my season spoiled. I'm going to play into
great.
that a little bit. I think he played into it a little bit, but I knew nothing about this man. And so there was a time where I went to Duke's in San Diego, a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'm not like totally invested in John's life. And
Yeah.
so I'm posting, I'm at Duke's, and the caption's like something borrowed, something blue. and I'm with my friends.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, the internet is exploding, and they're like,
Because they were on my LinkedIn, and they knew that I used to work. They thought that I still
used
worked
to
there.
work there. So I'm reading, oh my God, Katie spoiled her season. She's visiting John. And so I'm thinking like, was John there? And I didn't even say hi.
No, at the time you were thinking John who?
Well, honestly,
So I for one, we just pulled this up here. I for one thought, let me find the article here. Where the hell did it go? I for one thought that this was John in the background. You can't tell. It looks like, he's got a mask on, and this was Katie's way of, teasing that it actually wasn't him. So Katie went to a restaurant that John Hersey used to work at, and he wasn't even there. Oh my gosh. This just goes to show, for all the conspiracy theorists out there, if you want to find a connection somewhere, connective tissue in the world of everyone being connected in one way or another, you can do it. You can connect things that don't exist.
Be real.
I looked up his picture. I'm like, oh, that's John.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Google week 2, John.
Because everyone had masks on too. So there was even like a guy in the photo I posted that had a mask on that people were like, that's John. I'm like, what if that was John? Like, I wouldn't know because I didn't know the man. Sorry.
No, please.
I mean, fair enough. You didn't know him.
Yeah.
That's so, the rumor, I love that you played into it, but it was funny because now people probably hold that rumor against you that you were like, oh, you were hanging out with them or there's photos. So.
Oh, people take credit for our relationship, and I love it.
I mean,
you do?
They should, though,
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
what
I
ended
agree.
up happening is, so that was a rumor, and then obviously it shifted, or he even maybe went home.
Yeah.
And so I remember I slid into his DMs, and I was like, well, it was fun while it lasted. Like, we had never talked, but we both were equally playing into the social media, trolling the crowd.
Yeah.
And then somehow the rumor started for like maybe like another day or two. And then he sends a little a GIF from the Notebook that says, it's not over. It was never over. Which is funny. Like at the time, it's like whatever. But now it's like, whoa.
Friends.
Yeah, he became really close friends with one of my best friends, Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow...
All right, so this is how it all begins, right? They joked, oh, it was never over. It was obviously a joke. They had never really developed any connection. And now he becomes friends with Katie's friend. Of course, she lives in the same town. A lot of I think unintended movements that were happening here. You could look at that as fate, right? You know what I mean?
Maybe like halfway through the season airing, we all were in like a group chat called Duke's Crew because that was the whole joke with Dukes. Mm-hmm. And we built this very strong friendship, which helped build this foundation that we had no idea. We're completely blindsided in the fact that we would obviously now be sitting here dating.
Okay, so as you all know, I'm back home after dancing.
We have some ads there. And then we're going to get to the 16:37 mark. And then we have 2 clips left. It's going to get good, folks. We had to just share some context there. All right, so this is the moment when they find out they're more than friends.
When did you guys start to fall in love? When was it you're like, wait, is this more than friends?
So here's the thing about that. That was a story we were very excited about, and our closest friends and family know exactly how that happened. And in that moment, it's what I compare to like love at first sight, because it was like, I literally have a necklace that looks like a lightning bolt, because that's how we describe like the moment like that we looked at each other like, whoa, what is happening? However, the tea on that will not be spilled today. Unfortunately, there was so much.
Wait, that makes it sound so bad.
No, I'm just saying.
That makes it sound
what
so
tea?
bad.
You're not going to spill the tea on my podcast? Come
That's what
on,
I'm
give me
saying.
some headlines.
I mean, no. All I'm saying is there was such a negative energy when we ended up coming out as a couple, which was really unfortunate.
So as we know, Katie was doing her 12 days of mess, and while she was trying to make light of this, obviously she knows it was a misfire. I don't even think she finished the 12 days. She readjusted them. It didn't go well. Kind of like Chris Rock's like, yeah, I thought I had a joke too. Sometimes it doesn't end well. So you got to slap together an apology. Get it, the slap joke. Go to Dave Neal Show if you want to check out my content on Chris Rock and Will Smith. I got 4 videos up about it. There's a lot of chatter about that, but we're not going to do that here. That's for over there, Dave Neal Show on YouTube. But with Katie Thurston, I mean, look, her while she was, there's things happen fast, right? We look at these linear patterns like, well, you didn't take the proper 7 weeks of mourning that you needed. Well, the relationship with Blake came out of nowhere and started fast, and it ended even quicker, and that's how life is sometimes.
Like, okay, well, maybe this isn't the time that we share our love story.
Yeah. You're saying in that moment that you didn't want to announce it.
I think she's saying in this moment.
I'm saying the moment it happened, I probably wouldn't tell people because there's just still a lot of like speculation, which is annoying. And then it's like to the point where if we even told our truth, will people even like believe us at this point?
Yeah. It's interesting because I was just talking to Cassie about this with, the whole Colton situation. Like it's her story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
They know, you know that moment. And I know Blake got to go on like whatever podcast and be like, oh, maybe there was some cheating, or maybe he got to have this voice.
I don't like the way that Caitlin Bristow says that, and I love Caitlin Bristow, but Blake was asked by a lot of people, hey, do you think she was cheating on you? Which, of course, is a shit question to ask. Blake Moynes accuses Katie Thurston of emotional cheating as she moves on with John. I feel stupid and foolish. Not exactly his tone. I really don't think this is what he said. I really don't think there was any physical cheating there, but there was clearly emotional cheating for it to transition as quickly as it did. I feel stupid and foolish for allowing it to happen to some degree. And, of course, he's backpedaled from that feeling, but you got to respect his feeling of rawness, too. He said, I don't think it was partially me, too. I don't know if it was partially me too. Like, was she emotionally cheating to some degree because I wasn't able to provide something with words of affirmation, which I know I struggle with sometimes? I try to stand by having no regrets, but it is instances like this where you really start to fight yourself with having no regrets just with the way things played out. So obviously this was pretty soon after his breakup, and he has kind of walked back those feelings, and he has said he thinks Katie's a good person. So, it's a tough situation to be in. Unfortunately, if this wasn't such a hot topic issue within Bachelor Nation, I don't think anyone would, people would understand that like there's going to be saltiness that happens here. But of course, because it's The Bachelor, you get the taglines, Blake says she cheated on him. And of course, come on, it's like, let's pump the brakes on that.
Or you didn't get that voice. So I'm like, have your voice, woman.
I know. And I mean, and I think that's where it kind of was disappointing because Blake and I think he's gone on to say now on other podcasts, we both knew our relationship was not working out.
Yeah.
My relationship with Blake was a very separate situation with my relationship with John. There was not overlap. There was nothing but respect. It's just two different situations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I couldn't stand?
And we fill in the blanks. We go like, all right, well, we try to hypothesize and speculate and all these things. But here you have Katie saying it just wasn't that. And I don't have enough time in my day to really dive deep into what people's meaning. But like, you got to kind of take it for what it was. Her relationship with Blake just wasn't working out. Blake knew it, but also he questioned what he could have done differently. And the truth is, sometimes you're just not meant for each other.
I'm sorry.
Was
that interview with Blake? I witnessed their whole relationship, I mean, as much as I could have as her friend, like as her best friend. And I watched how much effort she put into that relationship while it was falling apart. And
now, of course, okay, I know you're going to say, Dave, quit pausing it. Listen, John has every right to stick up for Katie here. He empathizes with her because he sees all the work she put in. And we're not saying Blake did or didn't put in any work. John wasn't Blake's best friend. I'm sure Blake has a best friend that goes, hey, man, Blake might not share his emotions great, but he was torn to pieces about that. But he was also trying to do, he didn't put his relationship first in the infant stage. Maybe if they were together for a year and living together, then he goes off to Africa. It's a different scenario. We know Blake had a trip in Africa that he's probably trying to worry about getting his shots and his, this and that. So again, I honestly feel for Blake, but I also 100% understand where John's coming by being like, are you kidding me? She tried so hard. They were just on way different pages and literally in different countries.
What really pissed me off about that, like listening to that podcast, was when
started
to be a narrative get painted that she was putting no effort in and Blake was the only one putting effort into it at the end.
Yeah.
And furthermore, that in that time where she was absent, that she was somehow emotionally cheating with me. And I'm sitting back and I tried not to say anything for a while, but when that narrative came to be, I was like, I can't stay silent about this.
And respectfully, for John's point of view there, Blake said that. He's like, yeah, I guess there was some emotional cheating. And that then you go like, and then when does emotional cheating begin? You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe Blake's definition of emotional cheating is different than other ones, but it's the C word, cheating. It's like clearly, making friends with someone isn't emotional cheating. Snuggling with your friend while you watch Netflix might be emotional cheating. There's obviously some gray area in between the two, but without getting into the specifics of what the actual emotional cheating was, it's just speculative on Blake's behalf. But it's tough to speculate because obviously, it's like people are going to jump to conclusions, and that's what we do in Bachelor Nation. We got to put on our sneakers and jump to conclusions.
Because I watched her like suffer at the end of that relationship as her friend before there was anything between us, and it just pissed me off.
Well, I love that because one, that's so supportive of you, and to say that and to acknowledge that is really sweet, because I mean, I knew you too, and I knew the effort that you were putting in, but that a lot of people wouldn't be able to separate those two things as now her partner, like boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people would be just more like, well, whatever, screw that guy and blah, blah, like we're here now. But you're like, no, I watched her try really hard and suffer, and I'm not going to let her be taken down like that.
Very interesting. Not going to let her be taken down like that. Good for you, John. Look, I mean, we've talked about this a lot with the Will Smith controversy, which is, of course, at the Dave Neal Show right now, where do you stand up for your lady or your man, and where do you take actions in your own hands? Obviously, Will Smith went too far. If you don't believe in that, whatever, go to Dave Neal Show and watch my videos, my take on that. But obviously, John Hersey didn't go too far. John Hersey's not slapping Blake or anything. He's just saying, hey, man, I saw the pain she went through. So John gets to see, he's got that connective tissue of where she was trying to go, how it failed, and he sees all that in a way that a lot of people couldn't. A lot of people that casually watch Katie go, oh, what do you mean? You got engaged to this guy? And then next thing you know, you're with that guy. Oh, clearly there must be. And we like to make something out of nothing. A mountain out of a molehill. Do me a favor, make a mountain out of my subscriber base and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to join the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal for private membership only content. I'm going to go through this episode and find some more clips, but I wanted to get that one to you right now. More coming. We'll be with you guys shortly. Bye, everybody.